We're here in Aegina on the 24th of June 2013, the day after our very successful and stimulating meeting on Koukoulis and Spinelli. Here with me at the moment is the Deputy Mayor of Aegina, Mr. Nektarios Koukoulis, and Guilietto Chiesa, who was one of the speakers yesterday, the former European parliamentarian and journalist, who gave a very interesting talk yesterday. The subject today is different from the subject last night, because we are speaking about a very immediate problem which was first brought to the attention of people in Europe by Mr. Nektarios Koukoulis in 2003, when he was not the deputy mayor, but he was a member of the council, and he brought the issue to the attention of the then mayor, and there was an attempt to take legal action against the chemical spraying known popularly known as chemtrails. Now, since then many years have gone by, and initiatives are beginning to be taken now, and we're going to start the discussion talking about what happened in 2003 and seeing what the relevance is for today, because 2 months ago Mr. Guilietto Chiesa was very much involved and very much responsible for organizing the first discussion of the problem of the chemical spraying in the European Parliament, at which the organization, the citizens' organization Sky Guards, this is the dossier from that conference, was established. Let's start now talking with Mr. Nektarios Koukoulis about what happened 10 years ago now, and what he thinks about the progress on this subject since that time. Can you speak in English, or should I translate from your Greek? Louder.
Good morning. My name is Nektarios Koukoulis. I'm a teacher of primary education here in Aegina. And in 2003, I was a member of the municipal council here in Aegina Island. These days, I have learned from the local and Athenian media about the chemtrails phenomenon, chemtrails affair. I started the first steps for this subject, and I decided to put this problem, because I realized it is a very special problem, because it is related to the public health. And as a member of the municipal council this year, today I'm a deputy mayor of the municipality of Aegina, I thought it was my duty to put this problem in the municipal council, and I did that in, I don't remember exactly the month,
I think September or something.
2003, and as they told me later, it was the first time that organization of local administration, municipality, a public talked in public about this problem.
The discussion yesterday was on the crisis of European political institutions, and whether the European Union is doomed to disintegrate, or whether there can be a new start with a new citizens' Europe, building political institutions and social institutions that are more functional and more geared to the needs of citizens and the environment, as was conceived by the founders of the European idea, such as Koukoulis and Spinelli, more in the 20th century, Spinelli, of course, who was one of the pioneers of European integration. The question was then about European political institutions. Now, European political institutions have shown themselves to be incapable of even registering the existence of some of the most important problems. And we hope that with the initiatives like the initiative we took yesterday, that this will begin to change, that we will begin to build political institutions that can deal with problems which at the moment are treated as if they do not exist. Now, I don't know if Mr. Guilietto Chiesa wants to add anything to this and to talk about the connections between our meeting yesterday and our meeting today.
Well, yes, I believe that there is a very deep connection between all these questions, because when we arrived in the European Parliament, we were a little group of citizens asking simply that the European institutions hear what is happening. The most astonishing thing that they are denying simply till now the existence of the problem, and not only of the so-called chemtrails problem, but about many problems.
Many problems.
This
yes.
kind of institutions are blind. They are incapable to answer to the main question, which is the right of the people to defend themselves, our health especially. Look, that is, we begin a fight. We know that this fight will not be easy, because those who are playing over our heads are very powerful. My idea is that we don't know exactly what they are doing, but we know exactly that they are doing something very wrong. This is clear. The request was to the European institution, please give us some answers, because you have the right, and not you have the duty, to find the answer. We are citizens, we are not informed quite completely. We are asking to have the right information. That means this is a petition. It's the beginning of a big European war.
This is the petition. This is the petition that emerged from the meeting in the European Parliament in April. It's one aspect of of what we are doing, and we want to get people signing this petition. They can see it online by going to Skyguards.net, www.skyguards-net.org, and they can fill in the petition by going there. Unfortunately, we discover that at the moment most of the signatures come from Italy, and we haven't got enough signatures from Greece. Of course, collecting signatures is one aspect of what we do, because we want to get an answer from the European Union. We want to get an answer from the Commission to the questions that we ask. But at the same time, there has to be an approach by active citizens to the question, and perhaps also the establishment of an environmental court, which can take up issues like the issues that are being censored and treated as non-existent. And perhaps this environmental court shall have to rule about the things that are being said and not being said, which are very contradictory and irrational. Perhaps this kind of mode of discussion should be dealt with judicially before we can even begin to deal with the actual with the problem itself. We have to deal with the problem of the way people talk or don't talk about it. Do you have anything? Do we have anything more to add, or are we going to end this interview now?
I think it is interesting to tell you the continued story in the local level. The municipal council talked about it in 2003, and we decided for the first time to start to give an order to a lawyer to see if there was a problem with the laws.
When you say we decided, it's the municipal council, the majority.
Yes.
Ah,
It was an official.
It's an official decision.
Yes.
Yes. It's on the record.
And as I learned, they told me later, it was the first.
yes, I don't know any other.
You can see it in sites in
Fine.
as you can see here, and as maybe the watchers of this video hear of daily noises. People, simple people living here, want to go for shopping, for doing their coffee. I think we are obliged. We can keep this the right of these people to continue their lives healthy. There was a continue in this affair in Aegina, a local newspaper called these days a weekly newspaper made this subject as a first theme, and some other cities in Italy and in Europe they continue this research. Now some conferences, and they have informed me that you were pioneer some items of this problem. Continue this effort, but here in Aegina, nothing more happened. I'm always informed about the process and developments, and I wish that we could press some people to speak.
But the question is, the judiciary, they are answering something, they have written to your request. There is some kind of official statement.
They answered that it's very difficult to discover a lawyer problem.
Proof.
The proof
This was the answer of the lawyer, that what proof is needed which is not available. That's where it stopped.
The reality is that after these days and developed in the years, and because many days every year the sky is white line, many people have realized that something is going wrong, and some people do it wrong. I disagree with some knowledges and some
Views.
some views that there are strategic and national defense problems. I think it is. I think that this is a trick for someone who they don't want to tell us the truth. I think that the problem is still existing, and as I am informed, some towns and some cities is more serious than here. But the problem is global. Of course, it is European, and I think it is strongly related with the subject of the yesterday's evening talks.
Of course.
Conference. Meetings.
All right then, well, perhaps that's all for today. Do we have anything else to say?
No, simply I would like to remember those who are watching this film. Try this new attitude. Look at the sky, because many people don't watch the sky.
Yes, that's right.
They are not accustomed. They believe that everything who is happening there is natural.
That's
no,
right,
it is evident.
Well, looking down at the ground is what animals do.
You don't need it. I was living many years in Brussels, and I had the office at the very high levels, 11th floor. And every morning I was watching, and what I was watching, it is absolutely evident. It cannot be what we can proceed by exclusion.
Yes.
It cannot be civilian flights, because this kind of flights that exist. There is a chess board.
Yes.
When I was a young boy, my father told me they are meteorological planes, but I think they are not more.
Yes. But, well, I would like to add one thing.
Yes.
Europe already took this point, because in 1989, 1990, there was a commission of the European Union, of the Parliament,
Right.
which made a special inquiry. We gathered in Brussels following this kind of work.
Yes.
And that commission was working with the Environment Commission inside the Parliament. And they reached the conclusion. They already reached the conclusion, which is written in black on paper.
Yeah.
That means they were sure that there are military and other types of experience going on in the
Experiments, yes.
Experiments. Yes, the first. The second is that there is a very high probability that they can be dangerous for the health of the population. And third, they ask to stop this kind of experiments. And it is very strange that after all the work of this commission, all the conclusions of this commission has been forgotten, simply eliminated by the political scene. That means we have a precedent. Already there was an attempt to make clarity around this question, and this has been stopped. This is a demonstration that we are putting the question right.
Yes.
Why they have stopped? It was very simple. Give us an explanation. And there was a request in the final resolution of that commission to the United States to stop immediately the HARP research.
Yes.
That means there is a clear political decision. There was a clear political decision which has not been
For the
fulfilled.
silence.
Well,
Yes,
From the European Parliament.
the decision was exactly for the silence. That means we are sure that something is happening already 20 years. 20 years we are going on damaging without any doubt the environment and the health of the population. This is a direct attack against the right of the European people.
That's it for today then. Thank you very much.